Now, I ask you all to turn your attention to our screen. It's for this wonderful salute to Matan's Leadership Award recipient, Gail Hyman. Following the video, Rabbi Ilana Garber, a Matan trained professional, will present Gail with the award, and then we will hear from Gail herself.
A moment of gratitude for me was when I realized I could celebrate having a child with special needs. And those moments of gratitude come when you have love and acceptance. And it's pretty basic, but when it happens, it feels so pure.
Gail Hyman is a tireless advocate for people with disabilities.
She has used her voice and her passion to really drive change that benefits everyone.
Plenty of us have things in our life that challenge us or make us look at life a little differently, but it takes a really special person to take that experience and use it in a way that will help others.
I feel like I've been blessed with 3 different kids with 3 different educational needs. Whatever my kids needed is where my passion was.
Gail has a son with Fragile X, and it was very important to her that her son be able to be a part of Camp Arne the way she was able to be a part of Camp Arne. And so she worked with other parents and the camp administration to make sure that children like Scott would be a part of a camp experience.
When they graduated high school, it's like falling off a cliff. There are no more services for you.
Well, Scott lives with his 2 best friends, Russell and Paul, both of whom have Down syndrome.
Because they've been friends for so long, the families decided to get together and see if we could make it work. And they have been roommates now for 20 years.
All the things that she did and made available for Scott were things that she wanted to expand it to other people, to other populations.
That's the thing I've taken from Gail the most is, you know, I'm not doing this for my son, who's 26-year-old and intellectually disabled. I'm doing this for the people who haven't had the kinds of services and support that he has had.
She was involved in the founding of one of our primary initiatives, which used to be called the Jewish Abilities Alliance. Now it's Jewish Abilities Atlanta. She's helped drive some capital projects, and I could go on and on. I think she's been just a tireless advocate for individuals and families who face disabilities.
The follow-up is the key to good leadership, and Gail follows up. She understands that you can't just say something, you got to make it turn into action. And I'm just amazed at how many things she's involved in and what she does, and the empathy that she has for the work.
I served on a number of task force, and at each task force, there's always people that are uncomfortable and need to learn more, and some that are super comfortable. And I think there's a lot of collective learning that happens through Matan.
The mission of Matan is to make the world a better place for people living with disabilities in our Jewish community. Matan gave us an incredible plan, and it was very well organized. We could go through very methodically what we would want to do in year 1, year 2, year 3, and within year 1, what are the priorities? And so it's really been a wonderful roadmap for our community going forward.
Repairing the world is a very big task, but I think if we can just repair one piece of the world at a time, that's contributing towards the greater good, the bigger task.
So much of the advancement of inclusion in Atlanta is because of the leadership of Gail Hyman.
Matan is honoring Gail because it was very clear that she is a leader who uses her voice to benefit everyone in the Atlanta Jewish community.
A leadership award, I don't know. I just feel like I do what comes natural, but I do feel like it's a huge honor.
Gail, I am so very proud of you.
The influence you've made has just been monumental.
The world needs more people like you, and we are so blessed to have you in Atlanta.
Matan recognizes your talent, and it also recognizes the fact that people like you make a difference in the world.
I can't tell you how much I love you and how proud I am of what you do. And as long as you're with me, I can weather anything.
A well-known story in the Talmud tells of Honi, who was walking along the road when he saw a man planting a carob tree. How many years will it take for this tree to bear fruit? He asked. The man replied, It will not produce fruit for 70 years. Honi asked the man, Do you really expect to live long enough to benefit from this tree? The man answered, I found a world full of carob trees, just as my ancestors planted for me. I too am planting for my descendants. I can think of no better way to introduce and celebrate Gail Hyman as she receives the Matan Leadership Award. Devoted mother, passionate advocate, and champion for disability inclusion, Gail is a leader and an inspiration. Like the man in the Talmudic story, Gail's ancestors planted for her. And also, like the man in the story, Gail is planting for the future, for her children and grandchildren, for our children, and for descendants yet to come. Gail plants seeds of awareness, advocacy, education, and inclusion because she lives the value of Tikkun Olam, making the world a better place today and tomorrow. Gail, you are building purposeful, enriching, and inclusive opportunities for people with disabilities and their families. Your values of education and inclusion are evident in everything you do, from J-Screen to the UC Davis Mind Institute to Camp Barney, and even to being featured in a book all about Fragile X called The Carriers. I'm here tonight as a past participant in the Matan Institute for Educators. From Matan, I learned about disability inclusion in a way that helped me reshape our synagogue's ancient religious school into Sulam, which means ladder and is an acronym for where learners seek, understand, learn, act, and marvel. I'm forever indebted to Matan for the gifts they gave me as I fashioned our ladder of learning based on IEPs, individualized education plans, and I designed our learning spaces with guidance from my Matan mentor, Michelle Steinhardt. At Sulam, we individualize our approach to learning so that every child succeeds. I'm also here tonight as a parent of a child with Fragile X syndrome. Fragile X is the leading known genetic cause of inherited intellectual disability and autism. Like autism, those with Fragile X are on a spectrum. Some are nonverbal, while some, like my son Yaron, talk, read, write, love math, and love to pray. Yaron is 12 and is eagerly preparing for his bar mitzvah in just under 10 months. I'm applying so much of what I learned at Matan to help my son on his Jewish journey. Finally, and most importantly tonight, I am here because I am Gail's cousin. But we didn't even meet until a decade ago. Separated by the many branches of our family tree as well as geography, we likely would not have connected had it not been for something we share: genetics. Gail and I, and my mother and sisters, and Gail's sister and brothers and daughter are all carriers of the same genetic premutation on our X chromosome, which is what led to several of our children having Fragile X syndrome. We've managed to trace the mutation back a few generations, and we're still piecing together how signs and symptoms that were unexplained years ago might have led us to where we are today. Our kids with Fragile X, my son Yaron, my nephew Avishai, Gail's son Scott, and her nephews Alan and Todd, are our blessings. And they are Gail's inspiration. Gail has led the way in Fragile X advocacy, using her voice to educate, to fight for inclusion, to increase awareness and testing. Gail is a passionate champion, a cheerleader, a connector, and someone I'm proud to know and celebrate tonight. Mazel tov, Cousin Gail. Please come up and join me as I present you with your award. Gail, this leadership award is presented to you for leading the way so all members of the Jewish community can be included. Mazel tov.
Thank you so much, cuz.
Oh, this is beautiful. This is a set of candle holders with butterflies on them.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. It'll take a special place in our home. Thank you, Alana. Thank you for your generous remarks. I'm lucky not only to have you as a family, but also as my Fragile X friend. Love you dearly. Also, I want to take this time to congratulate my fellow honorees this evening. Matan Koch from the Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Personally, I am so grateful to receive this leadership award. I have always led with my heart. My role in inclusion stems from a passion for sharing what I have learned on my journey and helping lift others who have come after me. Matan's work in Atlanta and nationally has allowed so many to experience Jewish life without barriers. Many thanks to Dory and the Matan board for this meaningful award. I have been motivated by my devoted husband, Lyons, and our innovative son, Jared, our charismatic daughter, Carly, and our blessing of a son, Scott, as well as our very large extended family and friends. And I have to add the entire community of Atlanta. And a most sincere thank you to each of you who are here tonight, who have celebrated my efforts by being here for tonight's event in New York. Thank you so much. I'm just so touched and honored. Thanks.
If I had to describe the culture of Anshe Emeth, I would say that it is very open, accepting, kind.
To me, Anshe Emeth is an incredible place where everybody is welcomed.
The tagline that we use for the synagogue is that we are a Jewish community trying to make the world a better place.
There were 5 families that started the congregation in 1859, and people come here because of what the congregation stands for, and our special education program is one of the gemstones of what this congregation is all about.
Inclusion plays out in every single classroom completely differently because we're responding to the needs of every student in a different way. But it all comes from building a relationship and getting to know the family.
We have a very neurodiverse understanding of who comes into our classes. We have students with physical limitations, then we have neurodiverse students, we have students with learning disabilities, we have students with attention needs.
From the start, the synagogue was very welcoming and very inclusive. People like Maddie who have special needs, they're not sequestered off into a special place. They're part of the community.
Whatever the typical day is for the neurotypical 3rd grader, 10th grader, 11th grader, that is what the scheduled day looks like for a student that needs support.
And often how we meet those needs is by utilizing some of our teen madrachim, our classroom assistants, who are often sophomores and juniors and seniors in high school.
There's always a benefit in integrating everybody into the whole community and not separating. I think having Hunter here has not only introduced other kids to what a kid with autism might look like, but also to realize that just because somebody is different doesn't mean it's bad.
There's always a way of figuring it out, as long as you're willing to say yes and to explore how do we do this. Beautiful things can happen, and it's well worth the investment.
I am not able to carry the Torah around the sanctuary, but Temple was kind enough to make for me and other people like me with balance-related issues a Torah cart. I feel like it was a real gift that they cared enough to support me and future generations.
As we got closer to time for a bar mitzvah, it became clear that he could not do what everybody else was doing. So a bar mitzvah service was written for him. It sort of highlights from a typical bar mitzvah as far as what prayers are in it, but it also is really focused on him.
Because we were injecting so much of Hunter into the prayer book, it was making these prayers, which at times feel like rote, just come alive in brand new ways. So each and every B'nai Mitzvah now has a prayer experience that fits them.
Living up to that moment, it was probably one of the most rewarding experiences seeing him on the Bima. Basically having him customized to his needs and him doing a full service was just amazing.
They are an example of what every synagogue community should be.
This temple can serve as a model because we can show that what we're doing works, that kids are having bar mitzvahs who might not normally have been, kids are going to religious school who might not always have been accepted, kids can participate however they can and still become part of the community here.
I've gone to temple, high holidays, I've done Purim.
I don't think there are too many people who are members of this synagogue that live in New Brunswick. It is never the synagogue of convenience for any single person who is here. It's a synagogue of choice.
It's really an honor to be here at Anshe Emeth and to carry on the tradition that's been started by many before me.
Well, I just think it's really exciting that the synagogue is being recognized for the excellence of special education. I would never, ever be without this place.
I would hope that every synagogue has the opportunity to be truly inclusive and give that Jewish experience to all children.
This synagogue has really allowed me to blossom, and that's the reason why I call it my second home.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sharon Karmazin, and I'm a proud member of the Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple community and a long-standing supporter of Matan. And you saw my daughter, Dina Elkins, in that video, along with my grandson, Hunter Elkins. I have the distinct pleasure of presenting the Trailblazer Award to the Anshe Emeth community, many of whom are celebrating the award in person in New Brunswick, which you've heard already. I have, by definition, Anshe Emeth truly embodies the concept of a trailblazer. As you saw in the video, Anshe Emeth saw a need within the community to provide deeper connection for all families and met this need with open arms and innovation. Matan, as an organization, has ensured that thousands of communities across North America have experienced the transformative success that Anshe Emeth demonstrated 50 years ago. Matan work, training professionals and providing curricula and community consultations continues to give congregations and whole communities the tools they need to see these results, as you saw before you in the Atlanta community and of course at Anshe Emeth. Being a trailblazer is a heavy lift. And on behalf of the Anshe Emeth community and everyone who wants to be included in Jewish life, thank you, Rabbi Bennett Miller and Rabbi Philip Baisley, for your commitment to inclusion and blazing a trail for all to follow. Please join me, the two of you, in accepting your award. Now, Matan selected awards for both rabbis as well as for the congregation. Shofars. They are sounded in order to awaken the community and remind us what is important. The plaque reads Trailblazer Award for Disability Inclusion presented to Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple. Thank you for demonstrating how a Jewish community includes all.
All of us at Anshe Emeth are truly grateful for this honor. But the honor goes to the kids and the parents who trusted us, challenged us, and worked with us to develop a program of inclusion for everyone, a door to a Jewish education for all. We could not have succeeded in opening the door to Jewish life for so many without the commitment and the dedication of our special students and all of their parents. To them and to all of you, we are truly grateful.
We hear it one more time for Rabbi Miller, who started this legacy of inclusion 50 years ago when he first came to town. Our gratitude also extends to our wonderful education team, which includes our Director of Education, Matt Vogel, and his team of Kulanu educators, who are constantly rethinking and expanding how we do the work of inclusion in our school. Thank you as well to our entire congregation who has made the work of inclusion a priority on every level of synagogue engagement. It is also wonderful to be in sacred partnership with our congregation as we expand our understanding of inclusion. We know that there are many of you back home in New Brunswick at our watch party. Those of us who are here want you to know how good it is to know that we are all celebrating together. Rabbi Miller and I, as well as our temple leadership and community, also want to thank Dory and the Matan board and Matan for this wonderful recognition. We can't thank you enough, and we want every congregation out there who is thinking about expanding their understanding of how to do the work of inclusion to know that it's easy when in partnership with Matan. All you have to do is say, yes, we will educate your child, and Matan will help you do the rest. In Pirkei Avot, saying of our ancestors, Ben Azai taught, do not disdain any person, do not underrate the importance of anything there is, for no person does not have their hour, and there is nothing without its place in the sun. Or perhaps a better way of phrasing it is treat everyone with grace and compassion, for everyone has a moment and everyone has a place. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivatanu lidrof tzedek ulikabed kol nefesh v'shashfut. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, who has made us holy with your mitzvot and commands us to pursue justice and to honor all people and connections. Amen and thank you.
Matan in Hebrew means gift, and I consider Matan Koch to be a gift to anyone who ever has the opportunity to come into contact with him.
In our Reform movement, Matan Koch is our North Star when it comes to all things related to accessibility, valuing and including each and every person.
He is a deep, profound sense of love and joy in this world. And as a person who's certainly experienced his share of hardships, it hasn't in any way diminished his capacity to see that ultimately the world can get better.
Matan has cerebral palsy, which is a congenital condition from birth. So that means growing up in Connecticut and needing to work with my parents to demand services in the public schools when they were not offering the services that he needed. In each step of his career, he had to push for the necessary changes to ensure that there was some equitable opportunity. Simply living his life, Matan changed things for the people behind him.
Matan left the field of corporate law not because he wasn't excelling in the field, he absolutely was, but I believe he thought he would have a greater impact on society and bring more good if he entered the nonprofit world.
He went on to work at Respectability and to find a way to make his expertise serve so many people.
Matan has traveled the country, given presentations to organizations, including a number of law firms concerning the issues facing disabled Americans.
I'd like to believe that his visit was the turning point for our Jewish Federation's decision to contract with Matan this coming year.
He worked in the National Commission on Disability in the Obama administration, working to ensure that the United States was pushing forward policies and opportunities that are necessary for all people of all abilities.
He is an example of tenacity, humor, selflessness, and he's a guide. He really shows us the way.
Sometimes you can be a change maker and be a person who's putting out really big ideas, but sometimes it can come with a sharp edge. With Matan, it comes with love. and he raises people up. He raises the level, not only of discourse, but how we want to be as a Jewish community.
Now we at Rhoda Shalom bring American Sign Language into every service. Now we have a curriculum where we've committed to any learner of any need that we are ready with a team of educators specially trained in order to make sure that we say to every child, you have a place here, and we want to make sure that Jewish learning and Jewish tools are a pathway to help you thrive. Ultimately, it starts heart by heart, person by person. But we need the organization that dares to imagine how we scale that.
I see a remarkable link between the mission of Matan, the organization, and Matan, the person. Both are working to ensure that people of all abilities have access to knowledge, education, advancement that all people should have.
I think about Matan, the organization, that has helped give me tools, helped give me peers, and a feeling that I can do this not alone, but in a cohort of so many others. And most importantly, that both believe in the same vision, that ultimately what should be definitional to Jewish community is that each person feels like they are needed and necessary.
Matan has, in a very short time, made a tremendous impact that has unbelievable ripple effects.
Our community is growing more thoughtful, more inspirational because of the voices, the people, and the reflections of God that are now fully respected, included, and in the center of our community.
Mazel Tov, Matan. I am so proud of you, so honored to know you.
And I hope on this night you can see the hundreds, the thousands that have been impacted by your leadership.
I am so proud of you and so happy for you that the world is recognizing what a blessing you are and what a gift, a Matan, you are to all of us. I love you.
Good evening. I'm Vivian Bass, a vice chair of the board of directors of Respectability, and also the CEO emeritus of Macomb, which was formerly the Jewish Foundation for Group Homes, JFGH, in the greater DC area. For the final award this evening, I am incredibly pleased and proud to celebrate an individual who truly exemplifies impact with capital letters and who shares his name with the incredible and captivating organization that brought all of us, including Respectability staff, members, and other board members here this evening. Matan Koch and I came to know one another through my lay leadership roles at Respectability, where Matan currently serves as Senior Policy Advisor. We share a deep passion for inclusion and accountability in the United States and society overall, as demonstrated through our collaborative work. The organization Matan bridges Matan Koch's passion towards the Jewish community, as Matan, the organization, serves a pivotal role in the North American Jewish community. Matan, please come. You're joined already to accept your award. Here, read the inscription. We'll read the inscription. It says, the wording reads as follows: Impact Award presented to Matan A. Koch for being our teacher and a gift, capitals for all, to any and all communities. May 30th, 2023, 10 Sivan, 5783. Well-deserved Mazel Tov. Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me if I turn my head back toward my notes? Okay, good. So, first of all, thank you. Thank you to Matan, to its staff and board, to everyone who is here tonight, to everyone who spoke. Really, I'm blushing a little in the video, but also thank you to everyone who has partnered with me in the work. Thank you to everyone who does the work even if I don't know them. Thank you to those who did the work until their final breath and have asked us to pick it up, including my friend Ed Frim, my mentors, Rabbi Lynn Landsberg, Judy Heumann, Neil Jacobson, and of course, my late father, Rabbi Norman Koch, Zichronam Livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. This is called the Impact World, and ostensibly, it is thanking me for my impact. I hope that I've had an impact. I hope that my impact has been to improve our community by making it a better place for God to dwell. And what do I mean by that? The rabbis understood disability to be a feature, not a bug. When the rabbis talk about what you should do when you encounter disability, they say to us that we should bless God with the blessing Mishaneh HaBriot. We should bless God for the wonder and difference and variety of creation. Doesn't sound like we are responding to something bad, I don't think. Those same rabbis understood that our many varied presentations were all part of the image of God. God is simply too vast for any one of us to reflect the image. Only collectively do we reflect the image. It's our diversity. Her brown hair, his extra chromosome, my wheelchair, your laugh, they are all part of the reflection of God. As such, if our spaces, if our places, if our Jewish community is inaccessible to anyone, then the part of God that that person represents is also not able to dwell among us. We have, in essence, abdicated that portion of the charge that God gives us to build a space that God may dwell among us. So I hope that if I've had an impact, the impact is that together we build those spaces. The work of Matan, this amazing organization, and of the other honorees this evening, the tireless advocacy of Gail, and the wonderful example set by Anshe Emet, is that it adds another dimension. It adds the dimension of reaching children. You know, our rabbis were very clear that the legacy and the birthright of a Jewish child was Jewish learning. And they didn't mean birthright in some abstract titular way. They meant literally the generational wealth that would set you up for success in the world was Jewish learning, was Jewish education. And the work of Matan, the holy work that they do, the holy work that you're all supporting tonight by being here with your generous gifts that you all do when you work with Matan, is the work of securing that birthright for every child and for every person. It is truly, truly an impactful organization. And my notes. I am being honored tonight for my impact, but my impact, or even Matan's impact, is nothing without the work that each of you do to advance this mission. We can teach, we can prep, we can prepare you, but Herzl taught us, Im tirzu ein zo agada, if you will it, it is no dream. We may provide the know-how, but you have to provide the will to make this dream come true. You have to say, how can we make this work happen? And so today, ostensibly, well, we talk about my impact, I want to thank you for your impact. I want to thank you for the impact you've had. I want you to thank you for the impact that you are having and for the impact that you will have. Thank you, and thank you for this wonderful award, and good evening.
Okay. So, always a hard act to follow, Matan Koch. I'm Dory Kirshner, and I have the honor of serving as Matan, the organization's executive director. I wrote some notes, but I'm also going to ad-lib a little bit. I'm so moved by your words and by your focus, and just thank you for being my friend. Thank you, because you're my teacher too. Gail, I don't even know what to say. We met during the pandemic on a Zoom, and we've been friends ever since. And thank you so much for saying yes. And Rabbi Miller, who I call Bennett, and Rabbi Baisley, who I call Phil. I don't know how to thank either of you for being an example that all communities need to aspire to. And I'm hoping that after tonight and showing the video in real time and with names written correctly and all those things that were supposed to happen, that lots and lots of communities will be following up with you to learn from all of your examples. So thank you. I couldn't help but, I'm married to a rabbi. I'm not a rabbi. I just want to say that. I couldn't help but think about, we're coming off the holiday of Shavuot, which is the time in the Jewish calendar when we celebrate the gift of Torah. And I remember from years ago listening to Meredith Polsky, co-founder of Matan, talking about how it didn't make any sense that the Torah wasn't being given to everyone. So how do we figure that out together? And thus Matan was born. The Torah was intended to be a gift, a Matan, to all Jewish people. And I am so proud of the work that we all do, and especially Matan, the organization, to actualize this gift. Each year, we give out a leadership, an impact, and a Trailblazer Award. And tonight's honorees are outstanding, and they possess all of those descriptors. They blaze trails, they make an impact, and they lead, even when it's not popular or easy. While we have come so far as a Jewish community, our work still requires that we forge new paths and create lasting impacts. And thank you so much for working heart by heart, brick by brick, family by family. Before I say goodnight, I also want to say thank you to every person, not only in this room and not only who's at the watch party in New Brunswick, but also who hopefully tuning in from a new YouTube link that didn't go down so that you could be part of this amazing celebration. We look forward to working together moving in the future. I'm so happy to report that the goal that we set of raising $200,000, we reached before tonight. And amongst other emails that I was getting, lots of people are still donating and making gifts. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for bringing whatever gifts you have to bear. So thank you for keeping that going. With those critical funds, we plan to do so much more in the coming year. I want to tell everybody, just because it's one of my favorite things to do, what you get in the little goodie bag that you get to take with you tonight, okay? So amongst other things, there's a copy of Carly Hyman's book, which she wrote about her special brother, Scott. So every single person tonight will get a copy of Carly's book. Every person will get, it's a little planter. Our theme was planting seeds of inclusion. We hope that you, even if you don't have a green thumb, you'll give it a go at home and keep the theme and the idea of inclusion going. Hopefully you'll continue to talk about this evening, not just because of technical difficulties, but because of making very meaningful, connections and very, very purposeful, couple of hours being spent on a topic that doesn't get enough airtime. I want to say thank you so much to the event committee, to all the Matan staff who worked so hard, to the Matan board, to our advisory board, to the Salesforce crew, to our event people that made things, come together. Finally, thank you. I want to thank my family, most of all. I love you. Thank you for enabling me to do what I do every day. And this is the part where I get to say, enjoy the evening. Please have some dessert and please meet somebody that you didn't know before, make a connection and keep inclusion going. Thank you. Thank you.